Here you'll see got it. Obviously up here you can see the open, the high, the low, the close, right? So then after that, you could double click on your lines, right? Coordinates, you could get a little bit more specific. So the high on this one is 45, 445.18, right? So we're just gonna switch that to 445.18. That's how you get that crisp trigger. Okay. And the other white line, I'm gonna say it looks like this is gonna line up with this one. So the low of this candle is 435.33. Right. So again, click on that. 435.33. And that's how you could get a little bit more of a crisp trigger, at least on TradingView. And I'm pretty sure other platforms have the same or have a similar tool where you could get as crisp as possible. Okay. Let's break it down. Look bloody in these Wall Streets. Okay.
Sway, you don't use that magnet on your thing?
The magnet, I don't even know how to. If somebody can show me how to.
Go to the left. Go to the left of the chart, down to the bottom. Click
Yeah.
that magnet. Yeah, right there.
Put that thing on strong too.
Clutch.
Yeah,
There's levels.
you get
Yeah.
yeah you get yeah you get more accurate numbers that way.
My guy. Come on now. Come on now. Appreciate y'all. Where were we? 3 hour. 3 hour. So we got the 3 down. 2 down to follow. 2 down to follow. Trending day. All right. So for a lot of people that's struggling on lower time frames, this is why you might hear a lot of people say, a lot of, let's just say a lot of people say, watch the higher time frame. Stay on the higher time frame. Even after you enter, I mean, at least my perspective, if anybody else have something to say on it, definitely chime in. My perspective is after you enter, you want to stay on the high. Even if you enter on a lower time frame, flip to a higher time frame afterwards. Because if you stay on that lower time frame, you probably gonna get shaken out if you don't really got them diamond hands, right? So with that being said,
Honestly, and I don't mean to cut you off, man. Honestly, a lot of time it depends on what type of trade you're trying to do with the SPY. Say like if you scalping it or if of course day trading it or you can it's multiple strategies that you can use with the SPY. Sometimes like early in the mornings I'm on the 3 and the 5 minute, because I'm trying to scalp, of course. Now as we get to like that first 30-minute candle, I'm watching that ARB break. ARB break stands for opening range breakout. Basically, if it break out on either side, I'm taking calls or puts. Now, however, that ARB break, it can also reject that, which this morning that's what it did. So I already know there's puts. Now I notice what a lot of people do too, though. Before them candles close, what they'll do, they'll make that move. And for instance, I'm gonna say price to be going up, but that candle still haven't closed. So they jumped in them calls, and then them sellers push that price right back down. So or it's rejected or whatever, you know. And if you jumped in calls, your ass just got rocked. So it's best to be very mindful of that, watching them candles close, for what time frame. Frank, the 30-minute Frank. And I'm telling you that because me and you done been over that one. You gotta watch some videos, bro.
To add on what Sal said too, I want people to understand there's a thing called traps. And what traps are, you have bull traps and you have bear traps. And essentially what it is they pretty much make it look good, like just like SPY this morning, right? It ran up. If you took advantage of that, great job. They run it up and they make you think that it's going to keep running. And if you don't have the discipline or the knowledge to know, like, hey, this is probably a trap, because we had that big ass gap to fill from that morning run up. If you wasn't aware of that, then you were part of the trap. So they reversed it on you and went back to the downside and sold it off for the rest of the day.
Also, something else I think would have worked tremendously, for a lot of traders. You could have just went on there. You could have traded SPY just simply off of that 15-minute with the trend line. You didn't have to use no broad information or nothing like that. And every time they run it up, that's when you jump in your puts. You know what I'm saying? You get some cheap ass puts on some cheap contracts, and you just ride that sucker on down. Every time they run it up, because it's not, long as it don't break that trend line, then you fine. But now if you hesitating or if you jumping in calls and thinking it's bullish, just what Biker Boy D said is they trapping you and you cook. Because it hasn't broken that trend line.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Southside. I see most people, they'll get into the play and they don't let that candle close. That's important, because you have to that candle close to get that confirmation that you need. I see a lot of people jumping the gun on that. Like for the beginners that's in here, if you're doing it from if you're it's for example, my entries are always on the 15-minute and the 30-minute, but I always go to the 2 hour and 4 hour. So I'm always looking ahead to see where price wants to go. So you have to pay attention to those higher time frames, especially if you're just scalping and stuff like that. But it's definitely important to watch those candles close before you determine to make a decision. Because I've seen a lot of people get trapped. I've seen a lot of people get trapped today, especially while we did that run up. So you basically got to keep that candle close.
Honestly, the higher time frame gonna tell you where the price is going at too. But you just gotta, I'm gonna say, train your eyes on the candles. What's going on with the market sentiment, things of this nature, noticing the difference between range days and trend days. Um, Also, you got to watch ES. Now, I know some people watch the VIX or, have the VIX right next to it. It's various different strategies. More or less, you have to figure out what's best for you, what you understand the most. Now, also, like when you pick a contract for SPY, don't go choose nothing that's like, $7, $8, $9 out of the money, because that's SPY got to make a hell of a move, and it's just not simply making them type of moves right now. He say, do y'all mean to find an actionable signal on the 15th and manage it on the lower time frame? Now, if I'm looking on the 15th, I'm not looking at a lower time frame. Sometimes I might look at it, I might go lower to a 5 to see something different, but I'm not going to a lower time frame to trade it. Only in the mornings, like when I'm scalping. To answer your question.
Honestly, those 5-minute time frames, especially if you're not really good with it, if you are looking at a 5-minute, you should be looking at it to see candle development of a 15. So you should be looking at the 15 also, because 3 5 minutes make up a 15. So if you see 3 2 downs, then you know that 15 is going to be a 2 down. So you should be looking at how that 15 develops in that 5-minute candle. That helps a lot.
I've been looking for hammers and shooters. Five. Don't we just said you don't manage it on that 5, bro. That's a no. If anything, I would look, if I'm gonna look at another time frame, I would look at the 30 if I was you, and I say that because I'm assuming that you're a beginning trader. And to be brutally honest, I recommend that you not mess with it right now, because you simply don't have enough information of how to trade it. Any particular questions y'all have, or I don't before Suave continue.
It's Swavy, baby. It's Swavy.
That's what I said. Suave in my New Orleans accent. You hear me?
Slavey Navy.
What did you say not to trade? Do you feel in the? Why did you say? I'm saying I feel like it's not. I'm gonna say it won't be profitable for a beginner trader to trade the indices. Like right now the market is just not right. You know, for doing a lot of things that I'm gonna say I like to do in Tensho and others.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. Right now the market is very volatile. It's very news based. With the Fed speak, well, with Jackson Hole is tomorrow, but everything's based on who says what, how the rates are looking. So that's why it's hard. And whenever you see on Tensho, well, I don't think Tensho does, but Get Money by Income doing like 0 day or TIG, those people that have a lot more experience with those, they know when to get in and when they can cut. But if you get on a down candle, or let's say today that it was already moving down, and you get on a down candle and you get 1 minute up, it's gonna shake you out because you're gonna see 10, 20, 30% go against you, and you're gonna want to cut, especially if you oversize. So that's one of the reasons why you really got to know how far out to get your contracts, the levels,
Yep.
and entries.
Yeah, and also how I want to say this because I don't want to come out harsh. Easiest. Inside balls will be the easiest strat up to learn. I mean, strat set up to learn. But you gotta ultimately realize what type of trader you is as well. Now the thing with this, too, a lot of people use them stop losses. One thing about SPY, one candle, you'll be down 30%. So, and you respect your stop losses, so you out of that trade.
Yeah, I'll kind of touch up on what Adrian and Sal said. With SPY, the market is very volatile. And right now we're not at critical levels yet, but we're at levels of importance, levels that we need to watch out for. Because literally anything can happen. Like it's news based and earnings based, really, to be honest. So like if I'm a new beginner starting, even though I started trading SPY when I first started trading, but it's kind of different now from them. But I'll definitely go look for the small account watch list because those pay really well, and you can load up on contracts instead of just buying one, and then you can load up a lot, and then it goes into your favor. So I'll focus on that because you doing that is gonna help you prepare to play these big indecisives like SPY, QQQ, IWN. It's gonna help you prepare for that because the market ain't always gonna be like that. I think Suave said this in the chat probably like a couple, like I think when he first got in there, like the market is always gonna be bull. The market is not gonna stay down for long. It's always gonna come up. That's just how it works. So you focusing on those small account watch lists is gonna help you prepare to play these type of tickers.
I'm glad you brought up the small tickers because they are highly slept on. If you're new and you play those small tickers, they are slow movers. So it gives you a time to learn price action in real time. Inverse to SPY or QQQ where it could be trending up and it can just shoot down and you down 80% in 2 seconds. Like it happens. So I know Sal has a small account watch list. If y'all need that, we could drop it again. But you really need to focus on small tickers and learning how price action moves so you don't get shaken as easily. And then you work your way up to these faster pace tickers.
Also, I want to add though, like, so like how I find my plays, honestly, man, even if I done charted particular plays at night, what I do first thing in the morning, I'm going to look at the futures. Then I go to the ETF and sectors. That's how I caught Meta yesterday. I wasn't expecting it to trade Meta at all, but I seen XRC was bullish. So more or less that's how I caught that early morning move. Now like I said, I hadn't charted it, the night before anything. XLC was definitely charted, and I went over some previous levels that I had with Meta. And more or less I was just doing a lot of candle reading, riding the trend. 'Cause that's something else, as you get better with candle reading. And I feel like honestly, a lot of people don't talk about candle reading. They just talk about particular strat setups. A lot of people fall in love with, you know, what I call the Holy Grail, which is a 3-1-2. But hell, them 2-2 rails, which is a 2 down, or 2 up, 2 down. You know what I'm saying? Those can create quite a bit of explosive moves. You know,
Roseanne
you
asks, can you talk about stops on SPY since it's volatile? What do you use as a stop? I usually buy time so the move isn't as fast, but curious how you manage on 0 DTE. So when you're dealing with a position that does move fast like that, you can do it a couple ways. Like Sal said earlier, you can have a set stop, which is most likely going to be a percentage stop. So it cuts for you at a certain percentage. Personally, I don't use that because I know how to read price action. So per the strat, your stop loss is supposed to be on the opposite end of the candle that you entered on. If that's too much of a range of a stop, or if you need a bigger grace period, what you can do is find. I set structural stops because the market is structural; it doesn't care about my percentage. So I'll find maybe a resistance on a smaller time frame. If I'm in puts, I'll find a resistance that if it comes back and touches this and it breaks past this, I know to get out because it's broken the level that's going to go in the opposite direction. But if you don't know the answer to that question, you honestly shouldn't be playing SPY right now. So I will kind of just sit on the sidelines and
Yeah,
just keep.
especially not 0 days or one.
Now to answer questions in the thing, I'm asking the Frank question. Yes, you need real time data for trading view. You absolutely need it. You said so. I said check futures in the morning. Then I said check the ETF or sectors. I have some watch lists that I put in a watch list channel. The the market sector watch list that is a good one that you all can copy and follow. I have it for stocks. I got it. Man, it don't follow. Yeah, Joe. If the price go above or below your entry in pre-market, how do you play it? You simply either you could, wait for a retest or you go on to the next one. I mean, you can't force a trade. Trying to chase a trade that's gonna get your ass rocked.
And just because it retests your entry, don't mean get in it. You still need an actionable signal that is still gonna go in your intended direction. So like today's SPY, it went back to the call entry after it filled that gap. And a lot of people, even myself, I was looking for a bounce. It played around it a little bit, but it didn't give you that bounce. That thing dropped for the rest of the day. So when it comes back down, um, you need to be assessing what's happening now. You need to be assessing in real time, not just hopping in it because it bounced off the call trigger or vice versa.
Man, look, majority of honestly, bro, a lot of people should just don't even look at the market when that motherfucker open. You hear me? Like square business, bro. Because the market hasn't even established a trend. Like I seen a guy, he said he can't see his, his arm indicator. Well, the market hasn't, the opening range hasn't been established yet. It never gets established until that first 30-minute candle. Notice sometimes I'll be like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or 9 minutes, and I'm talking about either the 15-minute candle or the 30-minute candle, and it's very key for the uncoupling. What's the name of the indicator for TV? What indicator you talking about, Quiz? Quiz, come on, Mike, and tell me what indicator you talking about.
Are you talking about the strat? Because some
I
people
don't
don't
know.
understand strat. Yeah, okay. So you have Strat Teach V2. It's the same thing, man. It's just this. I think he has a Strat Assistant. That's what it looks like. It does the same thing. Strat Teach V2 is just a little more customizable to fit like your personal needs, but they do the same thing. And Strat Teach V2 shows the opening. It kind of gives you the strat setup. So it shows you the call entry and the put entry in dotted lines. But it's the same thing. They both give you full time frame continuity also. That's what you have, right, Swabi? Is the Strat Assistant?
I got the Strat Helper and I got TC, whatever that is. I also got Sector Performance, but I kind of keep that off. Just because like when I start charting, I like to keep my chart as clean as possible. You know what I'm saying? So I have that there just so in case I need it, I got a real flash. That way I don't gotta swipe over here. But those are the three that I have.
Okay.
Just to explain the TC, that's the time frame continuity icon right here. For any new traders or any traders who's not on TradingView. Okay. The Strat Helper, that's the numbers. Okay. After a while, you really don't need the numbers because you know what a 2 down, 2 up, you know where your target is. Right. So
Yeah, but you can't, hold up, you can't assume that though. Everybody, some of them don't understand that. Some of them, only got in the game, maybe 2 months ago.
I don't think I ever turn my numbers off. I can see it, but I like having them. I have the threes and the inside bars color coded too, so I can find them quickly, like when I'm doing back testing or
Yeah, not me. How do you add the numbers? Just add the Strat V2 or the Strat Teach indicator on the.
Ali
I'm
see that
not on that techie with TradingView yet, so my apologies for not being able to accomplish that at the moment.
That's all good. We go do a class too that walks everybody through TradingView so they can be set up and set up for success. Because I've noticed a lot of people don't really know how to navigate TradingView. And TradingView is an amazing program if you know how to use it. I know Adrian is like real nice with Thinkorswim. That's also a good platform, but it's just too much for me. But yeah, we'll do something on TradingView so everybody can.
On TOS, you can't use them hybrids.
Oh, you can't?
No.
I didn't know that.
And for me, the hybrids is a must.
Yeah. I don't even like the desktop of Thinkorswim. I do everything on my phone if I have to. I mean, unless I have to go on the desktop. But can y'all explain the significance of the hybrid time frames? Because I don't have TradingView. Can you still do it with TOS? He just explained that, but we did just have a Zoom call a few days ago, that we went through the significance of hybrids in great detail. So it's in our education tab. If you want to check that out, I think you'll find a lot of value in that.
Real quick, I don't have too many hybrid time frames on mine. I know I hear some banging comments about the 2 week, even the 3 week. But just to explain real quick, typical time frames is going to be a 1 minute, right? A 5 minute. These are what you're going to see on like Webull. You're going to see these on like on Robinhood. You're going to see these on all these other platforms, right? The 5 minute, the 15, even the 30. You're going to see the 1 hour. You're going to see the 2 hour. You're going to see the 4 hour. You're going to see a day. You're going to see a week, your month, your quarter, and your year. All right.
Yeah.
So
Now, in my situation, and not to cut you off or nothing like that, I use, I like that 45, 65, the 130, the 195 for the day trade hybrid time frames. I also use the 2 to the 10-day charts. Now for the weeks, I go from the 2 to 12 weeks. I also have a 24 week. And I made a 13-minute, time frame too. Basically, all the hybrid time frames is just different data, and it cuts some data off at the end of the day. You also get different actionable signals on those. The 2-day is, in my opinion, is golden. I like that 7 week and the 9 week chart when the market is right for swinging. Like when the market gets right for it, um, I'll absolutely do a class on that. Because pretty soon, in my opinion, the market sentiment is more so bearish. And the same way I was trading, I was swing trading, calls, I can do it with puts as well. My biggest percentage gain has coming from swinging puts, which was like 3,000, 4,000% last, I want to say November, if I'm not mistaken, and that was AMD. Once the market really, I'm gonna say, is directional, that's long or short, y'all gonna see some magic. And this ain't on no bragging shit. This just on some technical analysis and studying shit. You know, um, right now the market just not giving up that ass, like by no means. You may be lucky one day to get 200%. You may be lucky one day to, get 100%. And these games right now, you know, I ain't gonna lie, they're not easy, but you fight through it. Honestly, I really feel, though a lot of people won't admit it, I'm gonna keep it a stack. A lot of people should be sitting on hands and picking their battles. And it's just like, okay, if you have a $2,000, $3,000 day from trading one day, and you're not used to that, then next day you need to sit your ass down. That's just the being brutally true. You know, some tickers run up in the morning, but notice they get killed after that 30-minute candle. You have to pay attention to that, pay attention to previous resistance points, things of this nature. Pay attention to news because the market really finicky on news right now. That Jackson Hole, meeting, that's something big. You don't know if he's gonna pump it or if he's gonna kill it. This is gonna be based off of, I assume, the inflation and those rates and things of this nature. Yeah, I do like the 7 week and the 9 week for swings. To answer your question.
Yeah, I'm gonna just touch on what Sal said. Basically, the market sentiment is bearish, but I see a lot of people just jumping in trades. They don't wait till the candle close. Even though the market sentiment is bearish, they can run that shit up any single time. So that's why it's important to wait 30 minutes or wait for that 30-minute candle to close to see where the trend is, because there's always going to be a trend. You just have to let that candle close to see where the trend is. If you get in before the candle closes, how you gonna know where the trend is? So now you're in calls and the stock just fell. So now you not only you stopped out, you just lost money because you didn't have the patience. That's why we all preach patience is key. That's the key to getting these 100%, 200% plays. So you have to be aware of that.
But also too though, I don't think sometimes people understand too though. So say like you might be up, I'm gonna say for example, up 70%, but that shit'll go down to 30%, and you be like, fuck it, I'm gonna take my gains right now. I only realize that shit going right back where you just left from, and you done just missed out on your money. And I can say that because it didn't happen to me before, but only till I started back testing and things of this nature, or I just kept on noticing trades that I would be in and then go back to it and see where I went wrong at. And that's where the patience come in. Now to answer the question up in the in the thing about say like if you have a 7 week, it's all based off of triggers. If you have a 7 week trigger, you double that time to 14 weeks for the contract expiration. If you have a 2 week, you make that contract for 4 weeks or a month. You have a 1 week, you double that to 2 weeks. If you, I'm taking something off a daily, I'm gonna make that a weekly trade. Now I know I see some people talk about that 4 hour. I don't mess with that 4 hour at all. I don't even day trade off that 4 hour or nothing. And it's not against no other traders. It's just not what I do in my system or what I use. I just trust that daily more. I trust that 195 minute more so. That's just what works for me. I'm not telling you not to use it. Now, basically, the reason why you double the time on, I'm gonna say the triggers and things of this nature, because the market is not going to just run bullish and it's not just going to run bearish. And to account for that, that's why you double the time on the contracts.
Yeah, to add on to that too, I know I said this in the Discord a couple days ago, but your analysis can be right. So you can get the direction right, but the market isn't going to give it to you when you want it to happen. So just even because it triggers, it doesn't mean it's going to that move that magnitude is going to happen right away. So you need to give yourself as much time as possible to let that thing play out. If it just went in the direction we guessed every time, we'd all be millionaires. Like quickly. So you need time to let that thing develop and finally take off. And that's honestly I'm glad he said that when he was talking about patience is a lot of people get cooked and they had the direction right, but you didn't have the patience to let it develop. You have to let things develop. You have to sit back, watch, assess, and then make your move. Trading
Now
is
I'm gonna say something that would be controversial. Man, I'm gonna say honestly, bro. If people smoke a lot of weed, more weed, if they smoke weed and drink some red wine, their trades will be a whole lot better. to to keep it all the way a stack.
they smoke enough gas, they might miss out on the trade. They
Yeah,
might
man. I
be
mean, shit, man. Look, I start my morning right, bro. I get on that prayer rug. You hear me? I meditate, go work out, come back, eat. You hear me? Bring my son to school, and I smoke. Squat business. Meditation, bro. I know a lot of people don't talk about that, but I do this quite a bit too. You know what I'm saying? Call it lame or whatever. It shit works. Trust me, dog. You talking to a man that come literally from the streets. I learned this shit, a lot of this shit on my own, but then I got with good mentors. You know what I'm saying? I mean, understand this here, bro. I ain't learned how to read and write until I went to the penitentiary, bro. Square business. You know what I'm saying? So it took me twice the amount of time to learn a lot of this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know this shit sound cliche, dog, but I promise you, if I could get this shit, man, then any one of y'all can get this shit. But you gotta understand too, though, to get them big gains, dog, you gotta go through losses, multiple losses. Then you're gonna start questioning yourself. Is this shit for me? Even sometimes after I hit them big wins, bro, I question and then I take a dumbass loss or a minimum error. Cause a lot of times that's what my losses be from, or some shit be on my mind, or I get phone calls 24 hours a day, you heard me? You know what I'm saying? But you more or less gotta block out all the bullshit in your life. If you going through anything in your life, whether it be relationships or your partners or family members, man, you gotta. If you going through that shit, man, don't trade, bro. Square business. If you stressing over a job or if you stressing because you done lost $1,000 in the trade, this trading shit not gonna work for you, bro. Man, I done lost $30,000 in the trade before. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't phased me, dude. You gotta have the balls. To get them big wins, you gotta have the balls, bro. And the confidence. And the only way you're gonna gain the confidence is by constantly, relentlessly studying, bro. That's the only way, dog. Study the right shit. You know what I'm saying? And I say this here, the people that's constantly winning, that's the people you want to hit up. For me, as a trader, I never want to follow a motherfucker or pay for a motherfucker that was talking that shit, but you ain't never seen nothing he did. He or she did. So in back of my mind, I'm from the streets, bro. That good talk, that shit don't fool me, homie. You know what I'm saying? Let them go blow smoke up up Joe Blow ass, you hear me? And I know I'm cussing, but this the only way I could convey my message, you hear me? I know I'm raw, but this the best way I could talk this shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, man, you gotta get into the personal development books. You heard me? I think that the best lose is one of them. Think and Grow Rich, The Alchemist. You know, books like that. Shogun. You heard me? See, once I got in the penitentiary and learned how to read, man, they had to get me, they had to punish me from reading, bro. They couldn't get me out them fucking books, dog. Man, look, a lot of time my nights don't end till 1, 2 a.m. Once I learned I could make $10,000 in 10 fucking minutes, bro, man, that dope game was fucking over for me, bro. Go out business. And I know this ain't talking about no technical analysis shit, but more or less, this is something that's very important. You heard me? This is very important, bro. A lot of people don't talk about trading edge, what keep you going, you know what I'm saying? And things outside of trading, more or less, really, I'm gonna say, have a huge barrier of how your trade is gonna be. You hear me? I'm an open book. A lot of people got my number, but a lot of people don't use my number for, I'm gonna say, trading. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, you know, and I'm not singling them out by no means. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, man, look, it ain't gonna cost you. You know what I'm saying? To do this Zoom and shit, you hear me? Don't waste my time though. I hit some people up, they don't fucking come to the lessons, bro. I mean, I can't want this shit more than you want it at the end of the day, bro. And don't be pocket watching nobody's shit either. Because you don't know what them people it done took them people to get there, bro. And they got people in here, bro. After they don't post their wins, but after they win, they'll shoot me a screenshot. I appreciate you, Sal, for motivating me, for putting that battery in my pack to keep going, dog. Man, y'all be surprised the amount of people that win in these things, but they just don't post it. They had a young lady, bro. She on here right now. She made over $6 grand a day from trading AMD and SPX. And I'm not bragging on her just because she come from the mentorship. I know where this young lady been at, though. Any questions y'all got, man? Let's ask them. You hear me? Let's ask them. I'm an open book. Each and everybody I put on this team here, bro. Man, look here, bro. At first, I ain't even want to do this shit, and I don't want this to be about me. At first, I ain't want to do this shit at all, dog. I was nervous as fuck. But more or less, this here opportunity, bro, I was forced to, because I'm like, everybody offer me percentages. I'm from the streets, bro. So what's the point of taking fucking percentages when I could be in the fucking saddle, you hear me? This here Discord is lower than anybody else, period. Each and everybody in this Discord calling plays, bro, I've been knowing for quite a while. Tensho, you know what I'm saying? That dude, that me and him met in War Squad. King Tenders, I say, you know, I've been knowing that dude. He don't call plays, but I've been knowing this guy from Profit Rockets, which was one of the first discos I went into, bro. Me and Biker Boy D hooked up off of a Twitter Spaces, and dude been A1 since day one. You hear me? Let me answer the questions. Yeah, I'm gonna put to answer Renee. I think I hope I ain't butchering your name, though. I'm gonna put the book recommendations in a channel for you for sure.
So first off, bro, I appreciate that. And second, I wanted to say something too about that profit and loss channel that we have. I'm glad everybody making money and everybody excited. I do not want to see open positions in that profit and loss. Take care of you first, secure that bread, and then post your and then show us. Because some people be having open positions. That money not yours yet unless you swinging and you want to show us like, hey, I got 3 months left and I'm up 90%. I'm good with that. If you in the day, I seen people with SPY open positions. Take your bread and then show us. I don't want to see no more open positions in there.
Yeah, I also agree.
And hold up. I ain't trying to cut you off. I apologize, JMoney. What are the mandatory alerts you gotta have set for the trigger? Basically, the alerts. Now, personally, I'm answering Ricky. The personal alerts that I set are the triggers for the call and the put, and I also have triggers set for my take profits. Now, for my take profits, now this is very unorthodox, but I'll be like, take profits, dumbass, and more or less why I got that. You heard me? Because it comes straight to the phone. I used to not take the profit. You know what I'm saying? So more or less, like it's something psychologically with me. That's why I also changed the color of my calendars. You know, everybody be on that green, red bullshit. That's why I turned the colors. It's not because of the aesthetics of the charts or nothing like that. You know, some people don't understand, in my opinion, that, you know, sometimes them red candles push price up too. How well do you pay for the Discord? The Discord, bro, tomorrow, bro, by 7 p.m. Central, you heard me? It's gonna be in here. We're doing the pre-launch, you heard me? And it's anybody in here, bro, y'all got the opportunity before we release it to the Twitter, you heard me?
May I answer a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Renee, so the point at which you know that you've mastered this strat is really a personal thing, right? Like you can look at percentages and be like, okay, once I start consistently hitting at 70%, I'm gonna go ahead and switch off the strat and move on to other strategies. You could do it like that, or honestly, the more you practice it, you'll know. After a while, once you start seeing broadening formations without having to draw them, once you start seeing setups without really start having to mark them out, or you see where price action is going, if it just becomes like second nature, or jokingly, I say once you start dreaming about 322s, PMG downsides, PMG upsides, TTOs, etc., you'll know that you've mastered it. And at that point, you'll want to start experimenting with, other strategies that you can add into it. Like I know there's a lot of ICTers that still incorporate the strat into it as well too. Me, last year, I started experimenting with SMAs and EMAs in conjunction with the strat. So it'll be a personal thing, but you'll know when you're ready.
Renee, to answer your question, bro, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff, bro. But is a such thing as day by day, brick by brick. You hear me? Think about me, bro. I had over 100 months in the pain, man. And if I'm thinking long term about when the fuck I'm getting out, if I hadn't think about the next day or today, let's win the day, man, that time would have whipped me, dog. Now I know I'm correlating that between this, but it all worked the same. Now, keys to answer your question, dog. Let me go back to it right quick, and I apologize for not answering it or whatever. But so before I was trading the strat, I was just using the 921 200 EMAs. You heard me? And something called the Bollinger Bands. I don't like them bands, and just more or less it just didn't work for me. And honestly, so say like what got me to the strat at first, I was in a Discord, you hear me? And I just kept on seeing some 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, man, so What's this 1, 2, 3 bullshit? On the candles, because I wasn't used to that. I was just used to candles, period. Where you got to learn how to read the patterns and double tops and bottoms and different things of this nature. And then when Kill started his twitches, I'm like, I think this was a snow trade or AMD, one of them trades like that. This was like 2 years ago, you hear me? And I kept noticing I'm getting 200%. This man getting 800%. You hear me? And I was like, what the fuck is he seeing in these candles? They're saying not to get out the play. You hear me? And I say, man, gotta be something in that 1, 2, 3 bullshit, which is the strat. And then but then I didn't at the time I didn't have a relationship with Kia the way I do now. I had I started building a relationship through Ray Uchiha. I think that's how you say it, who is one of my original mentors.
That's actually pretty good for a non-anime watcher.
Yeah, I started, I would dial in on him in the world squad, and without a doubt, that dude helped my career out, bro. Now when I started learning it, it didn't take me as much long to figure it out because I come from trading patterns already, and I was just trading off the inside bars, different things of this nature, because I was already successful. More or less, the strat allowed me to be surgical with entries and different things of this nature. Now, if you're brand new, it's gonna take you a while longer. And then at the time too, they had run strat, which is if that ever comes back up, man, that's a gold mine, literally, because you can search. I'm gonna say 2 1s, 3 1s, 2 2s, all kind of shit. Like the setups are just the everything is just there, bro. You ain't gotta wonder about no player. It's just there. It works.
If you have Thinkorswim, definitely a lot of scripts for that as well too. Lots. If I could just cut in, Tina, I don't know where you saw that, but is there a significance to the body of the candle being one color and the outline of it being another? It depends on the indicator, but like for example, the strat assistant, if for example, if the bar, I believe if the bar is like a 2 down, I think the outline will be, no, I think the bar will be red, but the outline will be green. I don't have it on right now, but it'll basically, it'll show you like the body color being one way, but then the outline color being a different color, showing that it's, it's a 2 down bullish candle or it's a 2 up bearish candle. So if that's the indicator that you were looking at, that's probably what it was. But not all indicators are like, as you can see, the regular candles are not just normally like that. Like the outline is usually the same color as what the body is.
I see they say run strat is back.
As a beginner, should we still be monitoring SPY and QQQ and not trading? Absolutely. Absolutely. You should be, and I'm glad Biker Boy D put that out there as well too. Like that should be as part of your daily, not daily, I'm sorry, your weekly, like if you're a swing trader, that should be a part of your weekly discipline, your process, where you're looking at those sectors, SPY and Q. I don't trade SPY, I don't trade the Qs really. I look at them for market sentiment. The same thing with the futures. I don't trade them, but I look at them for market sentiment because, again, and a lot of things that you're gonna get from us is gonna be a repetitive kind of beating it into your head. Start off with the larger time frames and then zoom in because you want to understand which way the river is flowing. You get what I'm saying? If you're trying to swim against the river current, you're not going nowhere at all. As a matter of fact, you're probably losing. But if you go with the flow of it, instead of trying to fight that flow, that's kind of basically what the strat, that's kind of like one of its principles, right? You're going in with the flow of the river or time frame continuity. So you don't want to be going against that stuff. So you want to understand what, what the sentiment is of the market, which is the reason why I'm constantly bigging up Adrian's market analysis, because it should give you an idea. Now, not everything is guaranteed, of course, but it still gives you the idea of what potentially or how the market could play out, how the market could react to certain things. And so you're better prepared that way.
Man, the only thing guaranteed in this world, bro, is debt.
And taxes.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Especially if
Yeah,
you live in this damn
kind
country.
of I'll kind of piggyback on what both y'all said. Like I mainly play Spy, but I chart QQQ, IWM, Google, Amazon. I mean it's a list, VIX, DXY, because all of those are market sentiment indicators for me. So if I go and chart Google and I see it's a bear flag, then obviously all the other tickers somehow somewhere are gonna follow suit. So I know where the market sentiment is at. Like I chart futures at night. Like that's what I'm currently doing right now, and I try to see what the market sentiment is. So if you're a beginner and you not saying that you're gonna play spot, but if you're looking for the market sentiment, I'll look at those tickers. Mainly the tickers that you should be looking at for market sentiment are SPY, QQQ, IWM, because all of Amazon and I think it's in the S&P. I'm not really sure, but yeah, all of those three for sure gives you the market sentiment. So you can chart those tickers and you can get the market sentiment for that day. Or just like Tensho said, go to Adrian market analysis. I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on the analysis, because just like we just mentioned before, the market right now is pretty much news based. It's gonna follow what news come out, because news could come out any moment. It could either break out or it could break down. So you honestly, before you even get in the chat, go look and see what agents said from the past, what happened during the night sessions or like pre-market, because that's gonna help you determine where the market is, and then you can go chart those tickers and see where the sentiment is gonna be.
I'm gonna just hop in real quick, and I just posted it for tonight. I did a little recap. Mainly, everyone, like the whole market, is just looking at what Powell's gonna say tomorrow. That's what the hype has been, and I'll be I'll be posting live anything that he says. I think him. There's data release at 9, and then he goes on at 9:05. So market, well, central. So what is it, 10 Eastern? Market is gonna get really volatile at that time. So for the newer traders, if you're any positions that has to do with SPY, QQQ, just be careful, because it can really go against. I mean, it can go with you, but it could also cost like 50-70% down on like a minute candle or even more. But yeah, I'll be posting in the morning as well. I put some stuff up right now.
Yeah.
And
And
don't
in other words, don't even get your ass in position until after you talk.
right, exactly. I was just about to say
Yeah,
that.
basically.
And
Yeah.
don't try, even though the market sentiment is bearish, don't think what Powell says is going to be bearish too. You have to wait until these news drop, or when Adrian drops his
Look what
announcement.
King Tenders put up in the chat too.
Yeah.
And I'll add to that, because even if you think you're on the right side of the trade, when that stuff drops and whenever he's talking, it's all algos. There is no way a trader can execute the way the market moves at those times. So just be careful.
I've seen Powell say something positive and the market reacts negatively too. So just because he says something that, you know, we're still looking for a soft landing, or he says something that favors us in a positive way, the market, he can't tell the market how to react. So that's a big chance to get trapped also. Just let
One
it
thing
sit.
about him though, if you notice, bro, he never say nothing definitive.
No, he's not
No,
going to.
never.
Because he's smart. He already knows.
Nah, that ain't smart. In my opinion, that's not smart. I view that as a bullshit car salesman.
I mean, he kind of has to be though,
Yeah,
because
he has to.
if
Yeah,
he
if he
says stuff
makes
like that's
promises,
very
then we gonna
definitive,
lose
you
trust
know,
in him. It's
like
like
Yeah,
a
but at the end of the day, bro, that man, I I feel where y'all coming from, bro. But I feel like he fucking the country more and more like that.
It's like
I
when
mean, you're
Biden said
right.
he don't believe student loans, and then he didn't do it. So now we're looking at him like we don't trust him anymore. So
Right.
he
Man,
just like
that
playing on
man
words.
regurgitate the same thing over and over. You heard me? He just said a different way, in a different elitist type of talking.
He tries to give the economy in his speech, try to give the economy some hope. But just like I think me and Adrian was talking about this months ago, we just saying like he's just giving us what we want to hear, telling us like, hey, we're gonna get inflation back to that 2% target, and it's just not that. I mean, inflation has not gone down. I mean, it gone down a little bit during the summer, but you got winter coming up, you got holidays coming up. It's just no way impossible they can get it under 2%. At least not this year. Next year, I mean, I don't know, possibly, but honestly, I don't see it.
Nah, I don't think so either. Actually, I just saw like in my analysis, I put something it's Japan, but they've already forecasted because their interest rate, I think they came in, I mean their inflation came in just under. Their expectation is like 0.1%, but obviously it's still high. But
Now,
they
me
already
honestly,
gave the guidance that they're gonna try to get to, I think it was 2 or 3%, but it would be mid next year, which is something that Powell and the Feds haven't said. But I mean,
honestly
they're
too, I think
forecasting that it's probably gonna be about the same.
honestly, I feel like we should more or less keep our eyes what's going on in China too. And I say that because what's going on over there could have a worldwide effect.
It
You know,
does.
Yeah.
including us. You know,
Oh no,
Well, I
100%.
wouldn't.
That's why I've been trying to put that too.
I would say pay attention to that and pay attention to COVID, because COVID, I don't know if you guys noticed in the news, but they said it's gonna rise again. So basically in the winter, I'll be looking at stocks like PFE, Moderna, those tickers, if the news of COVID starts to ramp back up again.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though, Sal. You a straight shooter, so I mean, you want him to come out and say, "Yo, we fucked." Like, I don't know what to tell y'all, but
Well, yeah, rip the Band-Aid off and just be done with it so we can, move forward from there. But yeah, I get it.
yeah, because I honestly, bro, I just feel like, and I'm trying to, I'm gonna say not be too political or anything, but I just feel like they more or less, politicians on both sides are like putting a band-aid on things, and just in my opinion, I feel like it's just gonna keep on getting worse.
Right.
No matter.
And Adrian, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't we got a debt ceiling agreement coming up soon?
Oh, I need to check that because the last one was June, wasn't it? When
I think so.
All that shit was going on, and they almost
Renee, yes, we have videos and a thing to identify broad information. You haven't checked into the tab yet at all, bro?
Joe, to answer your question,
I want to say this. I want to say this about everyone here. Like we have these education tabs, these strat tabs. We's using the admins and the moderators. They put a lot of time to put these in for y'all.
Honestly, bro, I don't know if I took some of them out of them. Oh, all right. I see it's your first day in the Discord. Man, I tell you what, bro. Shoot me a message, man. I'm gonna take care of you because I've been seeing you. You got a lot of questions. And I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna do my best to make sure that you're up and running and understand some things.
Joe, technically you can do that for the leaps, but to be honest with you, my leaps they're not bearish. My leaps are currently actually it's only two. It's just Ford and LAC. And they're for calls 2 years from now. But technically, yes, if you see on the larger time frame that they're going in one direction, then yeah, you could get into leaps. And if you have the patience for it, you can sit through it. But I'm going to be honest with you, most, especially brand new traders, do not have the patience for it.
Most traders don't have enough patience for swings.
Yeah,
to keep
I'm
it a
talking exactly. So now I'm talking about leaps. Like most don't have the patience for that. So if you, technically, yes, to answer your question, yes, you could do that. But if this is like, I don't know, I'm not going to pretend to know like how long you've been trading or whatever, but if you're still relatively new to this, then I would say probably not right now. Because with leaps, it's not just like picking a stock and just being like, okay, this one's, down, so it's eventually going to go up. So let me just get into it now and just sit back and eventually time will win out. A good point of that is MJ, the MJ ETF,
I
a
tell
couple of
you
years
what,
ago.
I tell you what, notice how Disney keep on going down and everybody counting it out.
Oh, that one I'm watching.
Hold
Yeah,
up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. And I already know you know what to do with this here.
yeah.
Now, watching by 2 years, Disney be one of them shining stocks.
That's gonna be the next NVIDIA play.
Yeah, watch. Mark my words. And look, this here. It's good to buy them shares right now. Can it go down more? Of course. But that's one of them type of plays that you just buy in another account and you let that motherfucker sit. Literally. It's dirt cheap right now.
I think this
You
gets
gotta
dividends
be
too.
you gotta be greedy when others are fearful. When the legendary Warren Buffett said that, that's an actual true statement. Look here, Nvidia, which is one of my biggest plays and one of the plays that literally I'm gonna say put the spotlight on me, and you can say set the Twitter world on fire. Tensho was there with me when we was both looking at this play, which was a simple 2 down, 2 up on a quarter chart. Look
Yeah,
here, this is when Nvidia was beaten up. Now, if you know how to read broadening formations and the higher time frame, you could have seen it. So I think this was what, December, January or something, Tensho?
October of 2022.
Yeah, I'm talking about though. When we said though, that Nvidia going to 300 and AMD going to 100.
Oh, when we started like talking about it out loud? Yeah, January.
Yeah,
Yeah, January. Yeah.
yeah,
But in
and
October,
everybody
we,
and their
we
mama,
saw the setup.
yeah, and everybody and their mama said it was crazy.
Or didn't say anything, gave the silence.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, Nvidia's up 2,000 a coin. Nvidia's up 3,000 a coin. Nvidia's up 4,000 a coin. Nvidia's up 5,000 a coin.
Yeah, that shit was sweet. Joe, really, why do you say that? Like, as far as it, like, it's not going to stay down, it's eventually going to go up. Is that what you're talking about? If that's your question, the same reason why if Walmart were down right now, we would believe that it's going up. The same reason why if Amazon were down right now, we would believe that it's going up. The same reason why if Apple was down right now, we would believe that it's going up. Disney's not going anywhere. Disney's a household name. They're constantly recreating themselves to stay current with the times, current with hell, even the political agenda with putting what did they hired that girl? What's her Haley, like, to be the Black Mermaid. So they're never going. They're never going to go anywhere, right? Just to be clear on that. Yes, they currently are down right now, but you're not going to sit there and think that they're going to keep going down forever. Remember, we talked about it in the beginning. Stocks don't just go straight down. They also don't just go straight up. But if you look at Disney and draw the broad information, like what you're currently seeing right now, whether it be on the weekly or excuse me, even if you go on the larger time frames, yeah, Disney's getting beaten up. Now go back in time and look at some other stocks that were also beaten up all year, right? Even during like COVID, even during COVID times as well. Are they really down right now, or did they always stay down? No, I remember the travel industry was getting murdered, but then they started making their run up. The stocks don't always just stay down. So Disney will eventually go back up. I can't tell you when, but it's eventually going to go back up. You just draw that broad information and see how it reacts to that broad information hitting that low. But one thing I'm sorry not to, I don't mean to keep going on a run on, but one of the things that you're going to learn from many strat teachers is that with the broad informations, one of the things that they show is price expansion, right? Price is always going to seek higher highs and it's always going to seek lower lows. So right now with Disney, what you're seeing is it's seeking out a lower low on a larger time frame. It's eventually going to come back up and seek out a higher high. Now that could be 5 years from now, but eventually that's going to happen. If you go backwards in time on any chart, you'll see that price just continues to expand, making higher highs and lower lows. I hope that answers your question.
Disney actually just partnered with Apple too with the Vision Pro. So the Disney reps were at the Vision Pro release. So
Boom.
they're making moves. It just takes
Right.
time to realize.
Man, look here. 100 strike Disney for summer 2024.
Oh, that's funny. You talking June?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
funny. That's actually one of the
That's
ones I'm looking at.
$400.
That's
That's
actually
four
one
hundred
of the ones I'm
dollars.
looking at. Yeah,
That's
I like
$400
that.
a contract.
Yeah,
A move like that, bro. A move like that, there, you heard me? That's the shit that goes to $2,000 contract easy.
the broad, no, the broadening formation, Iman, not broaden formation, broadening formation. Basically, there's pretty much three key principles in the strats. One is going to be your actionable signals. The second one is going to be broadening formations, and then your third is going to be time frame continuity. Um, Actionable signals help you to execute when to execute into the trade. Broadening formations shows you price range, and I've noticed that it also can act as support and resistance as well. And then time frame continuity is basically everything in confluence, all the time frames that they're all heading in the same directions, especially when they're uncoupled. And I know I'm throwing terminology at you, but when they're uncoupled, you get to see what it's actually better that they're uncoupled because you get to see what the different participation groups are doing. You're getting to see what the long-term investors are doing versus the just midterm swing traders versus the day traders versus the scalpers, depending on how low you're going in your time frames. But if they're all in confluence with each other, all basically headed in the same direction, then you can feel more confident with entering into trades, for example, calls if they're all heading in the bullish direction, or puts if they're all heading in the bearish direction, because you're going with the flow, you're not going against it. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry if it doesn't. I'll try to explain more in the future. XLV got to pop off the COVID. Yeah, yeah. And I haven't looked at it recently, but I think XLV has like some inside bars on the larger time, some of the larger time frames too. So definitely decisions need to be made for XLV with, between the buyers and the sellers and that little tug of war that they're having. Yes, Reek will, yes. As a matter of fact, two of the actionable signals give you an opportunity for that. The Momo shooter and the Momo hammer both give you an opportunity to add to winners. Because the Momo hammer happens during an uptrend, it's basically, look at it as kind of like profit taking, if you will. Same thing for Momo shooters.
And I could promise you guys that we're gonna have all the lesson plans and lessons that you need to know. You just gotta, work with us a little bit. Everything is just starting. We haven't even gone live yet. So but with due time, you will have all the information that you need to be studying and need to know to look at charts and assess your own plays and know what you're looking at.
Absolutely.
Just give us a little moment,
If I could just add to the beginner traders, I want to say something that I wish I was told when I first started trading. Oh shit, 3 years ago. Wow, time has flown. Fall in love with the process, not the result. Learn to fall in love with the process, because as long as you fall in love with the process, you'll have the discipline to keep doing it every single day. And eventually those results will show, period. But if you're tied to the result itself, in my opinion, that's more emotional. And if you have bad days, or if you have, let's be real, shitty weeks, which to be honest with you, every trader does, right? Don't think that there's any glorified trader out there that does not have bad weeks or does not have their shit fucked up for a couple of weeks. Seriously, don't think, if any trader tells you that doesn't happen to them, I'm sorry, they're not a real trader. But fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the things that you have to do if you're an intraday trader on a daily basis, if you're a swing trader on a weekly basis, fall in love with that process, and those results will eventually follow. And also, whatever it is that you decide is your discipline, stick with that. Whatever you find that works for you. It may not even be the strat. I'm gonna keep it a stack. It may not even be the strat. If it works for you, then it works for you. You get what I'm saying? You don't try to force a strategy if you're not really fully connected. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but
Y'all just wanted to hang with him? Y'all just took his bad ass?
got it. But yeah, fall in love with the process. Don't like Sal said, don't pocket watch. Don't because all that's going to do is strike up some dumbass competition in you, and you think that you gotta bust out a 2,000% trade just to be, valid or whatever in this group, and that's not what this group is about. All right. If you get 20, 30% consistently and you post that as your wins, that is cool. All right. Post your wins. As long as you're green and consistent, you good. But yeah, just like I said, fall in love with that process and then grow yourself.
Be more like Miss SPX too. That's what I call her. I mean, of course I know her real name, but that's what I call her, Miss SPX. Cause think about it, man. When she take a loss, like, she be like on to the next. And she a woman, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She don't cry nothing, you heard me? On to the next. That's what you call a assassin. Look.
Do we trade patterns like double tops and double bottoms? Yeah, like I'm pretty sure there's people in the group that look at that. Probably not just that by itself, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure with all the experience we got in this group, there's people who know how to identify double tops and double bottoms. And even though it may not be the ultimate reason why somebody enters the trade, it's something that add to it.
That's what I come from, bro. Having identified it.
Man, that's literally my bread and butter. Like I play good on those. Like those is where that's where I get most of my money, playing those double tops, double bottoms, triple top, triple bottoms.
All that's doing is adding to your tool bill. The more you learn, it's just like with ICT. I understand a lot of this shit. I mean, I know it's dope as hell. I be wanting to know what they're talking about. I remember the first time I seen Choch, CHOCH on the chart. I was thinking Cheech and Chong. That's what I was thinking. I told somebody on the Zoom one night, bro. I'm like, man, I understand what you're trying to do, bro. Trust me, I appreciate you, dog. But man, this shit sounds like some Chinese arithmetic. You hear me?
And just like Tensho said, man, fall in love with the process. Don't think that you can just win without taking a loss. Like I think I mentioned this in the chat earlier today. I took 3 back-to-back losses this week. I was green on Monday and I gave Otto's game back trying to trade. Same day on Tuesday. Wednesday I just took a loss. And then today I made all that back and then some. Because one thing about me as a trader, I'm capable. I know my abilities. I know I can see where I went wrong and I can correct that mistake easily and then move on to the next play. And that's how you gotta fall in love with the process. You gotta be charting every night. Just like I think Sal has said this on his Twitter. Like, do you wanna go to the club every week or do you want to be successful? So instead of going out every weekend, go ahead and chart for an hour or two and then do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and I really said that because all of my homies, you hear me? I mean, I missed a lot of time to go out to the club and all that shit, you hear me? I came home, I was strictly on business. Yeah, I told them I was trading, getting back in my real estate bag. They started laughing at me. They going to club, spending their bread to fuck hoes and shit, you hear me? Man, that shit gonna be around till the day we die, dog.
That's a fact. That's why you always.
What my bad? What's the point of going to the club, spend some bread? You're not gonna learn this shit, and I ain't got to ask boss. You know what I'm saying? Can I get off this weekend? Can I get off? You know what I'm saying, on the 5th or something? Guess what? If I decide the day tomorrow to go to New York, me and my son, guess what? We going to New York. And this ain't no bragging shit. This just because with me, bro, it's not about the money. It's more about the freedom that this shit allows, bro. You know what I'm saying? If I want to go, I'm gonna say go spend $10,000 in the mall. I'm gonna go blow that bitch. And and this all come from trading, bro. Squad business.
That's a fact.
Years ago, man, I used to be on the corner praying for fucking crack sales, dog. You know what I'm saying? But that's a sacrifice I took too, though. Is you gonna stay up late? You know what I'm saying? Trying to chase them panties and shit, or you gonna chase these motherfucking charts and candles? You hear me? I mean, you got to, at the end of the day, bro, you got to decide how bad you want this shit. A lot of people come to me say they want this shit, bro. Shit, think about the people that came to me for, I'm gonna say free shit. Wasting my fucking time. Wasting their time too. But I love this shit. You hear me? I can talk this shit 24 hours a day. And my little son right now learning support and resistance, dog. He's 15 years old, bro.
That's a fact. And like you always got to be constantly charting. Like for me, before the market, I'm charting. During the market, I'm charting. After the market, I'm charting. Even now, like that's what I'm doing. I'm charting. I'm always charting because I'm always trying to get you always when it comes to the market for me, I'm always trying to find an edge. What's gonna give me that edge? What me what that means is that I'm always gonna be charting, always gonna be focusing on these levels so I could so I can come in the next day and have that edge because that's the edge that's gonna help me win. So you gotta find that edge within you. You can't just make a play, make money, and then when the market closed, you just don't open a chart and then you come in the next day preparing to have the same day you had yesterday. No, it don't work like that. I thought it did at first for me, but it don't work like that. You have to put the work in. We have all the tools for you guys, so you have to just start using them and start charting. That's how Sal got me to play spy because he's just saying keep charting it, keep charting it, keep charting it. And now I know that taken from like the back of my hand. I know how it moves. I know what it does on certain days or how volatile it gets. And that's just because me, I'm all
Man, tell them how I got on your ass about playing that one contract you're doing.
yeah. I'll even touch on Sal. He's probably the only one that's probably the reason why I'm sizing up now because he got into my man playing that one con shit. You a good trader. You con. I was like, and at first I was like, nah, I don't know yet. Cause I'm just trying. I'm trying to get my feet wet. I don't really know. Like he's like, nah, you do. You need to just start upping your contracts. And now I'm buying like on average probably like 6 to 10. If I notice an established trend, I'm getting 10 off the bat. If I know we might have chop, I'll get like 4 to 5, and then I'll just scale out every 30%. And that's just because he just kept nailing that shit in my head to a point I just had to do it.
Yeah, because it's just like this in life, bro. Long as you keep on playing average, that's what the fuck you're gonna get. Average results. You hear me? You keep on playing average dollars, you're gonna get average dollars. At some point in your life, bro, you gotta shoot your shot, drop your nuts. Period. Ain't no point in staying comfortable because there ain't nothing come from being comfortable. That shit lame as hell, you hear me? You just gonna be fucking average. If you satisfied with working 40 hours a week, going your ass home, paying your bills, you hear me? And taking a 2 week vacation, bro, this trading shit might not be for you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of us could you know, I'm gonna say realize this shit for you, bro. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror and ask that shit. You know? I mean, ain't no point in sugarcoating this shit. You gonna get your ass smoked. I get smoked. This shit happens, bro. You gotta brush your shoulders off, dog.
Man, honestly, you got to be so deep involved in it that it ain't no turning back. It's not even an option. You so heavy into it, you so invested into it, like the finish line is closer than turning back around. Like that's literally how you got to be.
Man, shit, ain't no point. It never was a point B for me because I ain't never gonna be called no motherfucker yes sir, no sir. That shit never. I ain't never had that shit in my vocabulary unless it was my mama. Fuck that. You ain't finna tell me when I could go home. Nah, fuck that. That shit never. Is there anything in particular that y'all added to the routine that made y'all consistent? Well, like what you talking about, Ricky? God damn, working
Hey, while you're waiting on
two
Ricky to
full-time
answer,
jobs. Yeah.
Renee, Tesla. Remember Adrian was saying, and a lot of us were saying, Powell's going to talk tomorrow, right? Now, although the sentiment is currently bearish in the market, when Powell speaks, anything can happen. Please keep that to the back of your mind. So, with your charting, I highly suggest that you chart both sides of the chart. I'm not saying it's going to go bullish, but you need to be prepared either way because Powell giveth and Powell taketh away. And that's just fact, right? Powell could have the whole market switch to bullish with just a couple of words. So as far as what you got charted there for Tesla, I see that you only have to the put side. You want to have a plan both ways as a stratter so that no matter what happens in the market, you're prepared either way. You know when to go in as far as entry and as well as when to take your targets or when to take your profit at whatever targets you decide to go into.
I feel like
I tell you what, I like Google. I like Google and they got their metal to the downside. I'll tell you that.
I feel like every trader, doesn't matter if you're a strat or not, should be charting both sides anyway, because the market, it don't go up for all, like the moves we've seen today and yesterday, those moves don't happen every day. So you have to be able to chart both sides and know where it's gonna go. So like, let's just say you in push, then it bounced off that support, and then now it's gonna go back up. You want to be able to prepare to know where it's gonna go. So always chart both sides.
I want to let y'all know too. Tomorrow we could get a double 3-day. Like that's possible. Whatever
That's what I'm saying. Like,
definitely a double 3. So
right. Anything can happen. So like for real, like after honestly, I don't sit like I'm not gonna lie and be like I sit on hands whenever Paul talk, but I usually don't make any moves until at least like an hour after he's done talking. Let the market absorb, figure out whatever way they want to go, and then I'll react to that. Ricky, to answer your question, double three LT. I'm sorry, hold on, Ricky. Double threes LTM. He just means tomorrow could be another 3 candle. Outside candles are basically a broadening formation on a smaller time frame. And it just shows price expansion and then also price aggression, whether it be to the sell side or to the buy side. Ricky, to answer your question, I'll answer personally, and the other admins can as well too. What I added to my routine to make me more consistent had nothing to do with trading at all. Actually, I started going playing soccer on the weekends, and Saturday and Sundays I go hit the gym 3 times a week. Just anything I could do to get my mental, relaxed and balanced. So when I'm looking at the charts, I'm not allowing like the personal shit of life kind of affect my vision when I'm looking at the charts because that can happen real easily and you can end up developing a bias. But then when you look at back at the chart, you're like, how the fuck did I not see that? You know what I mean? So I try to stay clear with that. And honestly, reading more. Anything. It doesn't even have to be about trading. It could be any type of developmental books. Right now I'm reading on the Seed of the Soul, which has nothing to do with trading whatsoever. If you're interested in looking it up, go ahead by all means. But I'm gonna be clear, it has nothing to do with trading whatsoever. But yeah, it keeps your mind clear. It keeps you not stressed out, and it allows you to see, just remain consistent and disciplined with the process. Yeah, I hoop too. I do when I can. But yeah, mainly right now is like ever since I joined the soccer league, it's been mainly that. Do we miss any other questions?
Think You Grow Rich is a great book, by the way. A lot of people think it has to do with money. Money isn't even the
It really isn't.
It's
Yeah,
not the
Think You Grow
premise of
Rich
the
is
book.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not the premise of the book. It really like it really gets into your mind. And for me, it changed everything about me. Actually, a millionaire that I know actually gave me the book because I asked him, what did you do that gave you that edge? And he gave me the book off of his shelf, and I read that book. I read that book probably 3 to 4 times a year. I'm reading it right now.
Hey, get that motherfucking Machiavelli, dog.
I gotta read that. I haven't read that yet.
Machiavelli and the Alchemist. Another one of my favorites is Barbarians at the Gate. And I like Predator's Ball too, but is about Michael Milken. That's a pretty dope book. The autobiography of Carl Icahn. That's another good one too.
So the book that Biker Boy just talked about, thank you, Biker, never mind. Think and Grow Rich. The Alchemist is actually a pretty awesome one as well too. Definitely a book I suggest you read. If you ever feel like giving up during the process, I suggest you read The Alchemist cover to cover and then decide if you want to give up on the process. Money Master, the game is, yep. So I'm gonna throw this out here to the other admins, see if they want to answer this. What is your philosophy on scaling out of contracts as opposed to holding your full contracts until it hits your target?
I'll go first. I'll go first on that. I'm a scaler, man, because those runners do the heavy lifting. If you secure your profit at your target and you're disciplined with that, you plan with free money after that.
Stress free, baby.
It's all free. It's only upside from there. So what I do is I'll usually scale out of 50% of my, like, soon as it hits my target, I'll scale out 50%, boom, take half of those off. And then I'll do another third, and then I'll leave runners, and whatever happens, then, boom. But definitely scale out. You should not be holding a full position, because if that trade goes against you, you just lost all of your money instead of.
Yeah, I ain't lying though. That shit sound good, bro. And I love that shit. I mean, and that's the correct way. That's the correct way to do it. Man, I'm fucking dropping my nuts, dog. I'm holding the whole position. You hear me? If that bitch gonna get 800%, then we got 500. You know what I'm saying? We got 500 cons at 800%. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Or 50 cons, whatever I went in the thing with, because it's like this here. Now, this is also controversial. I don't use stop losses per se. I use what's called invalidation points. You know what I'm saying? Only then am I getting out of them trades, bro. I'm holding full position. Whatever I put in a trade, I'm willing to lose that motherfucker.
Right. I was just about to say, so it's basically what your personal taste is, right? And this really goes for anybody that's going to ask questions about stop losses. The protective and defensive way to do it is, you scale out, leave runners, let runners run, you less stressed out, you're not tripping. Sal's way, on the other hand, I'm not saying it's wrong. You do have to have a lot of mental fortitude for that, right? You have to have high conviction that your trade is going to get to where you believe it's going to go to.
And you also
you can't be I mean, excuse my phrase, but you can't be a punk during the process, because there's going to be red days throughout that process.
Don't you use the word you really want to use, bro?
Well, there's still beginners in here, a lot of not trying to mess with, y'all will get to know me eventually, but I'm trying to, stay, but anyway, you do have to have mental fortitude on that. So my advice, right?
It's all about patience, and you gotta also, you know what I'm saying? You gotta absolutely be able to withstand 30, 40, 50% drawdowns.
Right. And I'm gonna be honest, as a beginner,
you gotta earn that.
That's what I was about to say. As a beginner, I don't think, look, don't let me sit here and underestimate you. At the end of the day, it's your money, but I don't think you should start out, like, if you just starting as a beginner, probably not a good idea. Because you're still developing and understanding what your discipline is, and then also understanding yourself as a trader, right? Being honest with yourself as a trader. Huh?
But once you read them books, especially at Machiavelli, dog, you're gonna think you could do anything, you hear me?
Of course.
I mean, it's like this here, bro. You gotta sit back and think like this here, though. If you working the 40-hour, 50-hour, 60-hour week, you gotta sit back and say to yourself, fuck it, I'm dropping my nuts. Oh well, I'm getting $1,000 a week right now. I've been doing it for 3-4 years, you hear me? And if I lose, fuck it, I just keep on doing it. But if I win, I get to do this now. You know what I'm saying? And that key decision right there could be, you know what I'm saying, whether you take your wife or your boyfriend, whichever you is, you hear me, to New York, to Paris, to Saint Tropez, or any of this other, you know, fly ass shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make the decision for yourself, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you never shoot your shot, you'll never know, dog. You don't want to get into your 60, 70, 80 years old, dog, and be like, man, I should have fucking listened to say our crazy ass, bro. You hear me? And some of y'all listening to this shit right now, but 2, 3 years down the road, y'all gonna be saying this shit. I should listen to that wild motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I say wow because I've heard these comments about myself. But them same individuals that saying this shit, you heard me? Now they looking up like, man, that motherfucker said I was right. Absolutely. If you never drop your nuts, dog, you're gonna keep on in life being average. Ain't nothing in my life I'm trying to do small, dog. If I'm gonna be thinking, I might as well think big. Period. Point blank. Ain't no in between or none of that shit.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But for me, when I start taking profit, I go the way that I go level by level. So if I hit my first level, and I'll take some off there. Then if I go to my next level, I say, oh, we got more room to go up. Then I will keep holding. I will keep holding until I reach my levels. But this is where charting also come in. Like you have to be able to learn how to chart very well to know where price is going to go, because the chart is going to tell you where price is going to go. You just have to look at these higher time frames and look and know where price is going to go, because it's always going to tell you when to get out, when to exit, when to take profit. You just have to look at those higher time frames. Stop looking at the 30-minute taking profit. Man, look at those higher.
Yeah, look here. Let's rewind to coin. I'm gonna say about 2 months ago when I was in fly, you hear me? Me and Tensho, we called our coin. We knew exactly what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I remember screaming it out in the Discord, you hear me? It was a 1-3 hammer setup. I'm saying load the fucking boat. Motherfucker looking at me like I was crazy or something, you hear me? Sean was in there, Kelly was in there. They in the chat right now. Next thing you know, that bitch went ballistic. And those who didn't load the boat, fuck. I'm gonna listen to Sal next time. Those who did, fuck yeah, Sal, you the greatest. You got the crystal ball.
Oh, I know when you're talking about. Yeah, there was actually somebody in my group that did 9,000 off of that. 9,000%.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Plays like that when the market is full of directional, dog. Man, as long as you chart, man, and just hold, bro, man, you can change the trajectory of your fucking life within one trade, dog. One trade. Now that don't mean to get arrogant the next one, and just because you got 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 to go buy a shitload of contracts, because if you're not used to playing with that size, you're gonna get fucked, and you're gonna get fucked hard. Look here, they had a dude of that same Nvidia player here. You heard me? I put the earnings play in there, dog, and guess what? This man hit for 35 racks. You know what I'm saying? I told him, man, say, dog, withdraw 30 grand of that shit and play with the rest. He didn't listen, and guess what? He fucking assed out right now, dog. Don't be him. Don't be that dude, bro. Squad business. I know I talk rough, man, but I know exactly what I'm talking about, dog. You know what I'm saying? If you're not used to playing with size like that, man, you gonna go crazy. And this another thing. People just said when Tesla, I called out that Tesla run, I called out Amazon, and I called out Meta. You hear me? All them people that was in Fly Capital, they could tell you. This ain't no bullshit or nothing. I call all them hoes out. You hear me? Look here. Tesla fucking went up. This was the first or second run. I don't remember specifically. Dude had a fucking 100 contracts, bro. And he sold them bitches. You heard me? He sold them bitches for a loss at that, dog. You know what I'm saying? Had that man, the same dude I'm talking about, I don't want to mention him. Because, that's a dude, more or less that I still be trying to, I'm going to say, keep his spirits up, dog. You know what I'm saying? That same dude, bro, that one play right there would have got him another $100,000, bro. Probably more than that, honestly. He had 100 contracts. The more contracts you get and that price just keep going up, that fucking account going up, dog. That would have been that man's second fucking big lick in the span of 2-3 weeks. So this is, I'm gonna say he had the possibility of over 135K, bro, with only a couple of $1,000. But you gotta have that fucking conviction and you gotta drop your fucking nuts. See, he ain't had that conviction, so that's why he sold that shit. It's just like if a man with a woman, you heard me, with a fine woman, he too nervous, you heard me, he gonna fuck the combo up because he ain't used to dealing with that type of woman.
As long as she make the stuff French toast, I'm good. All right.
Fucking right with the bonnet on, you heard me?
I was even gonna say like some of these charts that like that are showing here, right? You can even see the broadening formations. If you would have played these broadening formations right, even on the weekly or whatever, you could have got Tesla both ways, up and down. Honestly, you really could have. And then that's what the broadening formations help with as well too, with teaching that. Now, just I'm gonna say this, right? Because I'm not gonna sit here and be like I don't. I'm a hybrid. I do stop losses, but I also don't do stop losses for certain trades. So as long as if you're gonna not do a stop loss, like what Sal was saying, just make sure that you're risking appropriately and not something that you're not comfortable with risking. For example, if you like rent money, you got rent money, you shouldn't be risking all your rent money on one trade. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you can risk it and you're comfortable with it, you have a zero stop loss on it, then do your thing, right? Because at the end of the day, it's really going to be about your conviction and your charting. And if you continue to practice that, and I mean, like when I say practice, I mean even charts that you have no intention of entering in on. Just practice it every single day, like 2 or 3 charts a day. Again, even charts that you have no intention of, actually trading, and that's going to get you better on it, gang. Yep. So I got to learn. It's hard to have the same conviction off of a call out, and we don't see what y'all see. And that's right. So usually with the call outs that are coming out, I mean, there's going to be some thought process behind it, right? But this is also where your charting skills come into play, because at a certain point, you'll get to where, for example, I could see one of the other admins call something out. And even if they don't trade the same strategies as me, I could look at that same chart and be like, okay, I understand why they're calling that out. So that's where over time your charting is gonna come into play. You're gonna be able to see those things.
The 2 easiest traders in here, I'm gonna say providers or play callers, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna say more or less who trade the same, but yet we trade a little bit differently would be me and Tensho, to be honest with you. Because I could look at some of Tensho, long as I've been knowing him, and see what he's getting at, and Tensho could do the same if he look at my shit. Now I know I don't post no charts with mine, but more or less, y'all could I'm pretty, I'm gonna say vanilla with the way I call out. I know I ain't been calling out nothing lately. I just been messing with the SPY and the QQQ and things of this nature. Now I think one of the last call outs I did was XLE. When I said that's some shit, because
I'm sorry to cut you off, but before you even go on, man, you fucking murder spot this week, though. I ain't never seen no shit like that. Like you killed it this week.
I could trade SPY. I mean, some people, they don't know that I know I could trade it. I remember shit, you was with me when I was doing 100, 200 cons on that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I just hadn't traded in a while. The way to trade SPY today, man, you could have just ate that ass up, just following that trend line, buying cheap ass contracts.
Bro, XLE had a double inside quarter with a 2 up. So like it's just some fuckery going on right now. But anybody who traded the strat and they seen that, they would have that's when you start jumping for joy. You see a setup like that. And it still might pop. It's just,
Well, What you say? Which one that was?
You said
XLA,
you said
double X quarter.
called out
Yeah,
XL.
man, that ain't lying. That bitch left a bad taste in my mouth. Cause so now it's like I wish they smoked that bitch. Cause I'm a ride them puss with that ass.
Oh man.
Spy's chart today was easy to play. Like if you were playing Spy today is one of those days where, well, not even today, even yesterday was one of those days like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit a lick off these because the charts was telling where price was gonna go. We
Going
hit when the
down.
market opened, we ran it up all the way to 445.16, I believe. I got that on my charts, heavy resistance.
Man, honestly though, Jay. So say like with all of us, I'm gonna say me, you get money, especially with her analysis. Rose, T, Biker Boy, man. If you know a little something, bro, you should have been able to, make some bread off a spider, just not just today, but the past few days, you know. And if you notice, man, if you grab, you look at SPX, I'm gonna say Miss SPX, but her call lines, man, you can make the same play off a spy like that. Just take that last number off. So sometimes what I do, if I'm already in the play and I see she call the bitch the same direction, man, I go add another 20, 30 contracts.
And we talked about Spy's gap too, like way before it happened. We said Spy going for that bottom gap. Like we knew it. We knew it was no way it wasn't.
Now see how I got my price target on that bitch. I measured 50% of that gap.
Yep, me too. I know it's usually gonna reject the gap as soon as it touch it, and then it's eventually go fall down into it. It might reject the 50.
You seen how that first time?
Yep,
Not to cut you off. That yeah. So I'm like, shit, that second time it tested, that bitch going down to South Zamunda, baby.
But that's what we be talking about when we say, like, if you really study and you learn the right stuff, you go be able to see that before it happens. You go know, like, it's not just go flush through the gap as soon as it hit it. It's go test it. It's go play around it, and then eventually the pennies go drop. But you will get to that point for sure.
The grandma penny gonna drop too. You hear me? Now SPX not on Robinhood. You gotta play. You gotta play that at Webull or TOS.
What's the con difference on? I never played SPX before, but what's the like how expensive are the contracts in compared to SPA on like a 0 DTE?
A few $100 difference.
And I recommend like new traders. If I'll recommend new traders like don't even not it's not no disrespect to the SPIX traders out there, but don't try to play SPIX right off the gate. Like play with spot. It's much cheaper. You can get a lot of contract.
If you asking for, can you play it on Robinhood? Leave that bitch where she at.
Facts.
Cause she gonna fucking burn you.
Because spy and SPIX is pretty much the same thing. It's just cheaper with spy. That's why I like playing it. But if you're a beginner and you see these games on SPIX, don't let that influence you to play SPIX.
Hey, look, hey Pete, this it, OJ. Hey, say, look, I know they laughing their ass off on the other end, you heard me? But and when that bitch burn, they gonna cause somebody in here gonna try to play it tomorrow. so they gonna be like, man, I should listen to that wild ass nigga Sal. Or they gonna be like,
if you're not ready for SPIX and you don't know how it moves, I recommend don't play. The spy is way cheaper and way more safe. Now that's not to say that you can't play it ever. Learn SPIX, learn how it moves. Like it's just same thing as spy. If you know how to chart spy and you're very comfortable with it, you can play SPIX. But if you're a beginner, I wouldn't go to SPIX like right off the bat. Like if Get Money by Income, she calls out a play. Let's just say she did a 4,400 call. You can probably go on spot and get calls. It correlates with each other. You don't have to play SPIX.
look, bro. Man, look, the best way to play her, dog, is to get Like if she got, I think like 443.90 or some shit like that. Man, pay 443. Simple, easy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Notice how she play. She don't play that bitch right in the money. You hear me? Man, it's a method to her madness, dog. That
Yeah,
man
she
say would dance on you. Man, TK say she would dance on you like Usher. Burn, baby. I ain't lying, dog. I don't fuck with her too much. I ain't lying. I'm gonna leave her bad yellow ass alone, dog.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I think we got two of the best fix traders in Discord. To be honest, they be killing it every single day. Like that's like no cap. So like,
Shit, watch. She got a $20,000-$30,000 day coming. Watch.
I had seen she had posted on Twitter, like multiple 1,000% gains, and when she was talking, she said she only played $300 a day. Like she
And
don't.
ask her, bro. So like, I've been knowing her for quite a while, dog, and I was like, man, what? You know what I'm saying? She told me she don't be spending heavy on them. I'm like, what the fuck? So then if I remember correctly, she say the most she done ever spent on one was $2,000. So I'm like, what? So then I started looking more in detail. I'm like, I got you now. I know what you do. You know, but man, that shit, yeah, Renee, you could do that shit. You could do 300 to 5,000 on that.
So you could have did that today.
Man, look what Tig did. Tig hit him a nice one today, bro. Now he didn't Tig not the type of trader to go post his games, but so every night did do. But man, Tig be smacking the fuck out of shit, dog. And think about it, that man just had a wedding, dog. You think he could afford a wedding, one of them high ass weddings with some little gains?
Reek, the right now Ford is completely in bearish time frame continuity. So could it drop more? Yeah, but keep in mind, it's been killed off and sold off a lot. So eventually, at some point, you might hit some exhaustion. It doesn't look exhausted just yet to me, really, on any time frame. I would say pay attention if it does continue dropping. Pay attention to Ford around what was it, 1050, somewhere around there in that range. Because if you look at the last three candles, you'll see that there's been some exhaustion from the downside on the quarter. So Ford may do the same thing. It may either make a lower low from those quarters, from those quarterly candles, or you may see it start to exhaust and then start pushing back up. But yes, technically it's in bearish time frame continuity right now. So yeah, it could continue pushing lower. You think he the one that made that happen?
Man, look, I'm about to get off here for the night, dog.
yeah, we can call it here. I mean, we pretty much answered everybody's question. So,
I
well,
don't think we should record. Do this recording though, because Sal was saying some Chinese words on here.
I
Well,
think
you need to hear it, bro.
I think people need to hear it. I think we show transparency in this Zoom that can help people find the edge that they need.
All right, LTM. I don't know their name, but they say LTM. They say, look, Drake.
Yeah, you see, Rick, it can definitely continue to push down even more. I'm just saying, if you look at some of the lower time frames, it's, there's like some PMG setups on them. So if anything, if you plan to go like, enter off of a quarterly time frame, I assume that means you are looking to swing it. If anything, I would probably wait to maybe on the smaller time frames, maybe get it to kind of reverse a little bit, some corrective activity before ultimately taking it back to the downside. Because if you take it right now as is, again, it's just been selling off a lot on the lower time frame. So, and just continuously making lower lows. So you might enter at a time where it might reverse on you.
Tensho, you gonna get Zamunda profit score tat on you tomorrow?
On my arm?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. But I do have some ideas. I do have some ideas for stock related tattoos for sure.
I do too.
I'm trying to get that sports gear that so I can wear it to the gym and shit. That's what I need.
Man, I tell you what, that guy that made them, them, I don't know what you would call that tagged us all on Twitter this morning. I want to
Yeah.
make that into something.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was pretty fresh.
Yeah, the currency.
Yeah. Renee, the link gonna be, I think, in announcements. I think so, bro.
Yeah, just know that we're not gonna cheat y'all. We're gonna make sure everybody sees the announcement. We'll tag everybody. Just make sure y'all pay attention to the Discord around 6:50,
Keys,
6:55.
Keys and Renee, y'all definitely get with me. I seen you sent me a friend request. Um, I'm gonna be in touch with, I want to talk to more so, the beginners or whatever. This won't cost you all nothing right now. That's why I didn't put my one-on-one links, in the Discord or nothing. I don't want y'all, selecting me for one-on-ones or anything. You like absolutely have to have a one-on-one. I suggest, Tensho, Biker Boy D, JMoney, Rose, or whoever. I recommend that, you get with them. But mine, I'm gonna be free, to be honest with y'all. LTM, yeah, I think that's 7 p.m., right? Tensho.
7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're on Eastern, 7:55 Eastern. Yeah, just pay attention to around that time. Have your phones out or whatever. Because once that link drops, it's fair game for anybody who sees it first, who jumps in first, and takes advantage of the early access first. Remember, I'm not trying to oversell you or whatever, but just remember that's limited. That's limited, so you want to get in there as fast as you can, and then we go from there.
Hey, that thing gonna be like a Jordan
Also,
release.
No,
also,
Renee, Renee,
hold up. My bad. Also, Tina, right? I seen your a comment that you wrote that got me wanna, I'm gonna say, try to do something with you. That I don't know your Discord name or nothing like that, but definitely send me a request or a message as well.
Renee, the first 200 spots are limited to the early bird access. It's not limited for the sign up itself. It's just the first two spots are limited to the early bird access, and you'll see that in where do we put the monthly prices in announcements? So you'll see what we're talking about there. Frank, it's probably going to drop an announcement. So yeah, tomorrow after market close, just pay attention, set your timers or whatever. 7:55 Eastern Standard Time, 6:55 Central Standard Time. And yeah, just get in. I mean, honestly, we still coming in lower than pretty much every other Discord I'm aware of. So, you're still getting it at a good price in our opinion, but the early access will be even more of a discount under a low.
I'll say this before and then I'll get off. But look, we want to help you guys succeed. We want to help you guys grow your accounts. And you may see Sal or Tensho or me or Biker Boy D or whoever the admin and mods are get on y'all quite often a lot. But that's just because we want the best out of you. We want y'all to succeed. So I want y'all just to lock in with us and be patient with us. I mean, we're just starting. Sal's still figuring things out. We all still figuring things out, but just just be patient with us, and we just want to see y'all win. So if you see Sal being raw or Tensho being raw, me being raw, or Biker Boy D or anyone, any of the admins or the mods, just know that we want to see us succeed because we're desperate. That's all of our goals at the end of the day is to be successful, is to find that find that avenue where we can help generations after us. Like if you have kids, did you this would be paving the way for your kids or whoever. It's just hey, we're gonna give you that edge. You just gotta apply yourself and you just gotta lock the fuck in. You just gotta lock in with us. Like we gonna make sure y'all succeed. Y'all just gotta lock in and apply what we tell y'all to your trading.
Man, I hope y'all have a great night, man. I don't know if y'all into prayer, but I am. say a prayer, pray, I believe in a higher power, bro. When y'all wake up, I do the same thing and meditate, dog. Hope you have a blessed night.
All right, y'all have a blessed night. See y'all. Oh, Vanessa, you raised the hand. Do you have a question real quick?
No, sorry.
Okay, all good. All right, y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow in the chat. And yeah, make sure y'all get some sleep. All right. Take a cold shower in the morning. It's gonna be a volatile morning, like we said earlier. So don't be ready to jump in on anything. I don't care what happens as far as how much runs up or this one runs that or whatever. Just chill. Wait for the market to absorb what's being said, and then we'll take advantage of it down the line. All right, y'all. Love, peace, and chicken grease. See y'all later.